Hola guys and girls and welcome to the GBA Week 6 match. We are up against SixftHax and his Durham Druddigons. And before we start the battle at all, sorry that this is late. This is my fault actually. I was over the weekend at my parents' house and I had planned to record there. That's why there's no Teambuilder as well, because I forgot that I had to... I brought my laptop to my parents' house, but I built the team on my desktop PC, so I didn't have it on my laptop when I was at my parents' house. I forgot to transfer it, so I couldn't record the Teambuilder. And then I wanted to record the match on Sunday, but there was the PBL draft stream, which took way longer than expected, and because of an actual live stream. And yeah, I kind of, because of poor planning, I should have done everything in advance. I didn't have to wait till the weekend. So it's poor planning on my part that I wasn't able to record this and get this up on the weekend. But Leo, of course, was nice enough to reschedule as well, so his side of the match will be up together with me. So huge shout out to Leo, of course, that he could change up his plans to accommodate my poor planning, basically, going into the weekend. But yeah, that's why this is late, and that's why it's a team builder, and that's why I will go a bit more in detail about my team, and that's why I will probably be a timestamp in the comment section to where the battle starts if you don't care for that. If I don't remember that, I'm sure that some of the viewers will do that. But either way, let's, before we go to team preview as well, the usual shoutouts, let's do that as well. Shoutouts for Jenny's team goes to Pablo this time, and shoutout to recording this match goes, of course, to GoldoaDragon. They both are great help. Pablo, of course, the first time this season they gen for me, but it's not the first time overall, so definitely check him out. And of course, you know Goldoa, coach of the season as well. Check him out too, and of course, check out my opponent. I already mentioned that. But now, team, let's talk about that. So, this team is a very interesting, it's a very different team than what I usually build. And that's for two reasons. For one, Leo is very likely to make playoffs, and I kind of took a page out of Joel's book, which is don't bring your best team versus an opponent you might face in the playoffs, or very likely will face in the playoffs, and you actually don't need to win. We, of course, are going 5-0 into the season, so we don't, we are pretty much looking good to get into playoffs. Same with Leo. He is 4-1 currently, only one win behind us. And yeah, and the other thing is, Leo's team, not Gio, Leo's team. That's probably the bigger reason, because his team is so offensively threatening. It's insane. He has like very offensive threatening mons, and then he has a few very defensive mons. There's like no in between. There's like bulky offense, not really. There's like bulk and the offense. So he has offensive threats, like you can see on screen, the Darkrai, Marshadow, Medicham, Nidoking, then there's the Garchomp as well. And defensive-wise, he has stuff like Cresselia, Snorlax, Ferrothorn, Momola, like very defensive stuff and very offensive stuff. And when I tried to build how I usually build versus his offensive mons, I did build a team for that, but I kind of ended up with 6 defensive mons. And that's not how you want to go into match. Like, that would have to mean I would always have to switch around. There was no real way for me to put offensive pressure on him with the team I had there. And so I took a way different approach. This is a hyper-offensive approach versus him. And the reason I decided that is because Azumarill with a Belly set actually has an awesome matchup versus this team. The only two things he has to resist water are the Ferrothorn and the Momola, and both things I do outspeed with Azumarill, or at least should outspeed. I think Momola does have a higher base speed, but it's very unlikely that if he brings Momola, he will run like so much speed that I can't outspeed it with Azumarill. And yeah, so everything else which is faster than me gets hit by a +6 Aqua Jet and basically drops. The only thing which is faster than Azumarill and will be most likely faster even with investment, and it's not O-code by a +6 Aqua Jet Cresselia. Everything else drops. Marshadow, dead. Darkrai, dead. Nidoking, dead. Garchomp, dead. Thundurus, dead. Medicham, dead. And then for the things which are slower, of course, got player of knockoff and all this good stuff, and then there's Cresselia, which I need to chip a little bit. But that was basically the plan. Enable Belladrum Azumarill to sweep his team. And how we are going to do that. So, this team is super hyper offensive. That's why this time I actually brought a hazard stacking lead Deoxys with Spikes, Psyshock, Signal Beam, and Protect. I brought only Spikes, not Stealth because if you look at the totality of his Leo's team, the only two things which are hit harder by Stealth than Spikes are the Thundurus and the Cresselia. Everything else gets more damage by Spikes. He has his 2 fighting types in Marshadow and Medicham, which gets harder by Spikes. He got his 2 ground types in Nidoking and Garchomp, which take more damage from Spikes. And then he got a Steel type in Ferrothorn, which takes more damage from Spikes as well. And that's why Spike stacking, I think, is enough. I don't need the rocks. And then Psyshock and Signal Beam is my combination of moves to hit the best of his team. It's of course Focus Sash. I definitely want a Psychic Stab, so in case he needs a Marshadow, I can Psyshock Oko that. Then Signal Beam hits the Cresselia and the Darkrai. Super effective damage, and the Ferrothorn for neutral damage, which are his only monster which resist Psychic. And then Protect, in case he wants to lead with Fake Out Medicham, I can protect on the Fake Out, still with my Sash, and threaten it. Then Next thing we have to sweep is our Trick Room, Memento, Kofak. So basically the idea is lead with the Deoxys, get at least one layer of Spike Up, get a lot of, maybe some damage on Mons, then go into Kofak. It has a Casted Berry as well. Get up a Trick Room, get up Toxic Spikes, get up the Memento on something, and then bring in the Azumarill, and on the -1, which is -2 due to Memento, set up the Belly Drum, and then I have Hazards up. I potentially have a few turns of Trick Room as well to hit some things for a lot of damage, and we are +6 and can basically sweep the team, or at least do a lot of damage to the team, because my other 3 mons are basically just cleanup mons. We got Yachi Berry Landorus of Toxic Cresselia, Mega Manectric because it's faster than everything barring Scarfers, and then Choice Scarfed Jirachi, which one, of course, is Choice Scarfed, so it can clean up as well. And for the second time, it has Healing Wish. So that's what I mean with Azumarill. Doesn't have to win right away. Basically, it does the Belly Drum thing, gets a Citrus Berry. It has a Play Rough, Knockoff, and Aqua Jet, and Belly Drum, of course. Gets a Berry Drum off, that kills like 2 or 3 mons. Then I switch out, Healing Wish it back up, do the same thing again potentially, or just have a threatening Azumarill versus a very weakened team, and yeah, and then it's cleanup duty for Landorus and Manectric maybe. But yeah, that's basically the idea behind the team. Like I said, a lot, if not all, banks on the Belly Drum Azumarill, so that's why it's like, probably I will either win gloriously with like a 4-0 if like Jirachi and, what you call it, Kofak kill themselves, and okay, Deoxys might die as well, 3-0, or I lose very highly because it fails. So these are the 2 options we have. But yeah, let's open the match, of course, with the opponent's team. Cresselia, Ferrothorn, Nidoking, Mega Medicham, Darkrai, Marshadow. No real surprises, all make sense. There's like, of course he had other options as well. I wouldn't be surprised if Thundurus would have been there, Garchomp instead of Nidoking would have made sense as well. Snorlax maybe, there are a lot of mons which made sense, so that's why, like, there wasn't a Premier 6 I was expecting. This looks like a proper team he could have versus me. I'm sorry for my attire, by the way, I just fresh out of the shower and I need to get this up to date because I don't want to force Leo to, yeah, schedule it forward another day. So yeah, let's do the thing. I've got lead with Deoxys, it's my lead Deoxys set. And yeah, get up some spikes and go forward with our game plan in this match. We of course get challenged by Trainer Leodan, which is striking his cool pose and wacky waving inflatable arm flailing Tube Man is hitting the field and he leads with Thornswaggle, which is his Ferrothorn. And versus this, I'm just getting up my spikes, and then after that I'm basically fine just weakening the thing, because this is one of the things which I need to weaken a little bit for the Azumarill, because of course resist Play Rough and Water Up stat. So yeah, he goes for Gyro Ball right away. If he would have gotten up rocks or something there, I would just got an additional layer of spikes till he gets me down to my Sash. Brought me down to my Sash, and he had decided just go for a Signal Beam. Get some chip damage on this thing, scout what kind of variant this is, and yeah, go on with our plan from there. He does go for a second Gyro Ball and hits my Deoxys, and right here I do decide actually not to switch into my Kofak right away, enabling our plan, because I don't want to get Trick Room up, obviously, and he could have Power Whip, so setting up on this with my Azumarill is not a good plan, so I do just go straight into my Manectric and go for the Flamethrower, which would OHKO this thing from the range. He does switch into his Nidoking, which of course is probably his check to this thing, and yeah, but he should still take good damage from Flamethrower, where maybe an HP Ice might even kill him after Flamethrower and Spikes damage. But either way, we do go for the Flamethrower. Okay, first Intimidate, but so let's see, where do we get to see the Flamethrower animation? There it is! We do hit this Nidoking in the face with the Flamethrower and do close to no damage at all, and that tells me this is an Assault-vested Nidoking, which I kind of was expecting because he had Nidoking before and he brought it in another match. I remember it was a strong electric type. But right here, I do decide to play a bit aggressive because I don't have switches to Nidoking. If you look at my team, I have no single defensive mon, and nothing really wants to take an Earth Power or something like that. But I do actually have a few switches to Earth Power. I do have my Lando and stuff like that. And so I do decide him to overpredict right here. Or at least and kind of hoping as well he does. And I just stay in, go for HP Ice because it is a 2-hit KO from here. So he does stay in, of course, we are fast since he's Assault vested. We end up getting a crit as well, which is nice, and he does indeed go for the Ice Beam and does overpredict versus my Manectric. So the aggressive playing, which we are kind of forced to do with a team like this, did work out here, and we can just go for second HP Ice or for Flamethrower, which I actually decided to do. He does show the Sucker Punch. Like I said, the crit enabled us just to go for a Flamethrower. If he wouldn't have gotten the crit, we would have been forced to go for an HP Ice. So that's where that matters. I don't know if he would have switched around HP Ice maybe, but either way, we do get rid of Nidoking, still have our Manectric intact, and he does switch into Cresselia, which is of course very nice because we can Volt Switch on that, and that is our switch into Kofak, which starts to enable our plan right here, because this Cresselia is potentially Premier setup fodder for us. We do switch into the Truth, which is the Kofak, and we see that he goes for the Moonblast versus our Manectric. of course, do close to no damage, because we know from that he's very little, if not nothing invested. He goes for Shadow Ball, we of course do that with the Casted Berry, but even without the Casted Berry, that would have done very little damage to us, and we can get up our Trick Room right here. And after the Trick Room, I actually decide to not go for the Mantle right away, because chipping this Cresselia down in Aqua Jet range is what I need for Azumarill as well. So we'll first go for Shadow Ball, max special attack, Modest from this Kofag, which will hurt this Cresselia a good amount, and we see that he has no items, so I'm expecting the Cobra Berry at this point, because Cobra Berry Cresselia is probably the best check he would have for Orlando. He does go for Shadow Ball, and right here the roll is looking kind of funky, because right here I have to think, if he has a little investment, he could actually kill me for Shadow Ball right here, or there's a chance at least. If he has no investment, I guaranteed live here. So I have to decide, do I Memento right here, like use the chance to get my guaranteed Memento off and then switch into Azumarill and start enabling our plan? Or do I go first for Toxic Spike and a Memento after that? Because that, of course, I could get up after he hits me for Shadow Ball. I could still go for Memento afterwards and, yeah, do my thing and have a Toxic Spike additionally up. Since Nidoking did already go down, the Toxic Spike would have been very nice. But I decide in the end to not take the risk right here and go for Memento right away on this Cresselia, but he switches out. And I just hope it's not something which I can set up with the Azumarill, but he does switch actually out into his Ferrothorn, and we do lose the momentum on the Ferrothorn right here. And now we have to make another decision. Do we hope that he doesn't have Power Whip and still go into Azumarill, or do we go into something else and hope to, yeah, basically sadly waste our momentum? The problem is, even though he's at -2, we of course can take one Power Whip from this thing. The problem is there are still 2 turns of Trick Room, so that means we can take the first Power Whip, but after that he's faster than us and he can go for second Power Whip to kill us. So right here I have to make a decision. Do I switch into Manectric, do the safe play, like take a Gyro Ball, Power Whip, whatever, he goes for Rocks, something, but scare this thing out, or do I go into Zoomer and hope that he doesn't have Power Whip, or if he has it, misses it, and we can still go to town on his team. It would have been, of course, awesome if I would have gone for Toxic Spikes right here, because then I could have still gone for the Memento after that, and then I would have been fine with Zoomer, because he can't hit me with one Power Whip, I live, and then Trick Room is gone, and I can kill him with Knockoff. But sadly, that didn't happen. So I decided to go to my Zoomer right here, like I said, because, like I said, this is a hit or miss plan. I thought to risk it right here, go into his Zoomer, go for the Belly Drum. He does have the Power Whip, of course, it sucks. He does hit it, of course. Does not a lot of damage, but after the Belly Drum, we are, of course, sadly in range of a second Power Whip right here. And, yeah, we do, of course, have our attack. Do get our Citrus Berry. And, yeah, now it's troublesome. Because now we have to think, okay, do we take the second risk of him missing the Power Whip and staying in right here, wasting the last turn of Trick Room, and just going for Knockoff or something like that? But I decided not to do that. This time I was getting, like I said, I want to risk it there, but not again. And I decided to switch out into my Manectric right here, because I still have Healing Wish in the back with my Jirachi. But sadly, this switch into Ferrothorn did put a huge damper on our plan with Zoomer. But we are definitely not out yet. We still have the Healing Wish on the Jirachi. And so far, the Cresselia is looking like premier setup for that. He actually does go for Rocks right here, which was surprising for me. But after talking to him, like after Iron Barbs, I was in range of his priority with like Shadow Sneak from Marshadow and Bullet Punch or Fake Out from the Medicham. So either way, I do switch to Manectric. I do go for Flamethrower. Of course, the thing was gone here at the Trick Room. So it was faster again than the Ferrothorn. And he switched down to Cresselia and takes the Berry, and that sucks a lot because now Cresselia is healthy again. And no, you don't want to see Cresselia getting that healthy again. And yeah, I just will switch out right here. Back into my Jirachi, because what I plan to do with Jirachi is either weaken this thing if he decides to go for attack, or if he goes for some healing Wish my Zoomer up, because like I mentioned, this Cresselia is probably the best thing we have to set up with our Zoomer. He does go for Shadow Ball right here. I don't know if he predicted my Jirachi, or if it, I mean, Moonblast would have been stronger, but I guess Shadow Ball hits more on my team at this point. But yeah, I do go straight for the Healing Wish and get up back my Azumarill, and yeah, basically try number 2 to sweep with Azumarill, or at least get a lot of kills to bring the differential down, because so far the game is not looking too hard for us. Like I already said, this was a hit and miss strategy, and so far it's looking like a miss, but we can't give up yet, because we do have Azumarill back in the play at full health and still be able to Belly Drum up and do some work versus his team. This Cresselia only shown Shadow Ball, Moonlight, and Moonblast so far. So if you only have Psyshock, this is not a problem. He actually does have Thunder Wave and hits, which could be annoying potentially if you get parried. But of course, if you never get parried, this is the best case scenario. We do not get parried, we get our Belly Drum off, and now we can try to do some damage to his team. Sadly, of course, we do get very low again. And I was hoping to maybe be faster this Cresselia, because we do have enough speed for no speed Cresselia. But due to parry, we of course are slower, and it is able to hit us with the Moonblast. which in retrospect was just silly to go for Belly Drum there, because we do kill the Cresselia, but due to the damage we got on us, we are in range of his priority, so we can just go into his Undertaker right here, which is of course his Smart Shadow. We can just go for Shadow Sneak. I was thinking about switching out right here, but at this point I have to hope that he has no Scarfers and Manectric can clean the team. Yeah, that's why I do go into Manectric right here and just go for the Thunderbolt after that, because he did go for Shadow Sneak, so I'm guessing he's not Scarf. And after the Intimidate, I'm actually out of range of Shadow Sneak for him. So I do hope I can just go for the Thunderbolt right here and get a full para, and then go for another Thunderbolt. And yeah, you see from the narration already, this game is lost. Like I said, Azumarill is dead. That was the whole plan, was to sweep Azumarill, and that didn't work out, mainly due to this hard switch he made into Ferrothorn exactly at the right turn. If I would have just risked it with the Toxic Spike, this would have been a way different game, because then I could have stayed with Azumarill, killed the Ferrothorn, forced him some priority on his side, and then go for Azumarill to town at another time. But either way, I do go to Landorus, he goes for Rock Tomb, misses. I guess maybe he was scared of me being Rock Polish, and he didn't want to go for Ice Punch since I was Yachi Berry, so Rock Tomb was better to lower my speed. At least that's what I'm assuming right here, but since I don't have Rock Polish, and I didn't Rock Polish, I did go for Earthquake and kill him. He does go into his Darkrai, which does actually go for Dark Pulse and not Ice Beam. I think he's really thinking that I'm Yachi Berry, but which I am, to be fair. And I go for Earthquake, and I hope for a crit, because then I could actually kill this Darkrai as well. And if for some reason Medicham doesn't priority, I could kill that as well. But like I said, like you can see right here, we do not get that. He does go straight for the Dark Pulse and does knock out Mr. Man, our Landorus. And we do lose our first match, 3-0 versus Leo and the Durham Druddigons. So let's talk about this match real quick. Of course, our first loss in the season. I mean, to be fair, the last week should have been a loss as well. So it's technically our second loss of the season. But I'm actually not too mad about this game, because I was going into this match already with the mindset, okay, I'm either gonna win or I'm gonna lose. Like this, I mean, that's always the scenario. But I'm either the Azumarill plan is gonna work or it's not gonna work. That was basically my idea going into this match. And after it turned out he had Power Whip. Like after the switch, I was still fine. Like if he didn't have Power Whip, but after he showed that it Power Whip and it landed, like if it would have missed, that would have been awesome as well. But after it landed, basically, I was very, okay, I'm not winning this game anymore. I'm just here to bring down differential. So, yeah, that sadly is what happened in this match. We do lose our first match, but like I said, I'm not too worried about that. The main plan is not to be the #1 player in the regular season. The main plan is to be the champion at the end, and for that, we need to make playoffs. And I think by having a match like this, which is, I mean, it is a real match. I hate saying that matches aren't real. Like, I definitely tried my hardest in this match, or my hardest at that point. In retrospect, of course, I didn't make this place. But I did take this game very seriously. But I want to say the team building, I did not. But, yeah. So, I guess after a match like this, we do have better chances in the playoffs if we face Leo again. But, of course, we do need to get some wins still in our last 5 weeks. We can't just throw all of them away and then be 5-5 and then not making playoffs. So, we definitely still need to get some wins. And what we are trying to do is get the first win in the second half versus Aster and the Montreal Hubsons, which we are facing next week. But yeah, GG to Leo, of course. Big thanks to Leo for being so accommodating with the rescheduling. Shoutouts to my people who helped me out, Pablo and GoldoaDragon. And yeah, it was a very weird match, I have to agree, like not only with the team building thing, but with how it was played and all this good stuff. So if you still enjoyed, of course, leave a like, comment, subscribe, you know the deal. Hit you on Twitter, Facebook, all links are in the description. But that's all from me for this upload. I will see you another time. Ciao.